It's the first album we've done in 5 or 6 years. We had all this time in between record companies, and a lot of things happened with the band. We were touring this whole time, but we haven't really recorded. So we decided to do an album. We started writing, Rickey and myself, and Johnny got with a lot of other Nashville songwriters, and John Five from LA is a great guitar player, a great friend of ours, and Bob Marlette helped us write some, and Jeffrey Steele and a lot of people, Trey Bruce, and geez, there were so many I can't remember them all right off. Tom Hambridge. Gosh, and anyway, we wrote some songs, and the song that we might show you today is Still Unbroken. We wrote with Huey Thomason, who's in with us no longer, God bless him, and we lost him during this whole process, and Ian Evans, our bass player, and Billy Powell, and it was tough. And they were on some songs, and they were in spirit in this album, and so we wanted to finish it for them, as well as ourselves and fans. So we did that, and we worked real hard, and Sparky here is our new guitar player, and he's been with us a few years, and he jumped in there and just fit in like a glove. So we did it, and we had a lot of fun doing it with John Five and Bob Marlette and some Nashville pickers here and there. We didn't use too many people other than us, you know. And then we just put it down. We're real proud of it. And Rickey, I'll let him take over.
Actually, well, what I find is really interesting about this song that we're going to show you, Still Unbroken. First of all, we had Gary came to us and said, I found this tape. And he says, you got to hear this song that I found on there. He says, it's got Huey on there with us, And we listened to it, and I think, by all my recollection of it, I think that the song was basically written shortly after, not too long, Leon passed. Because we, were going through a bit of a down period about that, and we got together to start writing again. And that was a song that basically that you could hear Huey talking in there, along with the other three of us, Johnny, Gary, and myself. And you could hear us all having a conversation and stuff, And one of the funniest things about the four of us writing together is, on a steady basis, Huey would bring his guitar in, and he would set all of his gadgets up and plug them all up. And at some point, never failed, at some point he would get a feedback loop through all of his stuff, and it'd go.
The chords would go bad,
and
yeah.
He would do it all the time. We could count on it, which would lighten everything up. We'd crack up, if everything got real serious, But the song really took on a really incredible vibe about it once we got in the studio with Bob Marlette. And Bob, actually, we got to know through John Five, and Bob did the demos on quite a few songs before we got together with him and started recording. And I think really what he said to me was, at the time, he said, I've always wanted to record Lynyrd Skynyrd and try getting what that essence of Lynyrd Skynyrd was then and bringing it what it is now and merging the two together. And for all the people I've talked to so far in the press and stuff, they think that he did exactly that. He captured, the old spirit and the new spirit of it all, merged it together, and that's what's on the record, Actually, it's just an E string dropped down to a D, and that's basically it.
Live, we do that sometimes, and when we're on a long tour, but you got to just adjust the keyboards to it, so it's hard.
Yeah, we're tuned down a half step already. Yeah, we're tuned down a half step because it saves on the vocals, like Gary says, but it gives it that real, that underlying punch, that underlying ballsiness to it,
But in the studio, we didn't do it to all the songs because of keyboard, so you had to tune to that, or it was a mess. You had to get the whole piano tune for one track. So
1, 2, 3. So basically the way I play it is, I'm playing it without hitting the drop D, of course. I'm playing it on the... Because the inversion right there, it gives you the fifths, right? So it's got it all the way covered. So when they're playing the way they play it, it's a wide-bodied sound. So it's... Yeah, and then on the verses and stuff, we come down. Everything pedaling on a D. So then Sparky plays off of this, and he plays off of this.
The intro is just follow their chords, which is... I just do the slide as goes with the melody, which is...
Into a verse.